It's a flat table and there's some sheets of paper and there is one drawing that goes across each of the sheets. And the skill we're learning today is how to create a clipping mask so that the top image sits on top um, a bottom layer and perfectly goes on top and you don't have to erase around it. Okay, anyways, let's begin. First thing, we go to Google and we're going to just search table texture. Go to images and we'll just pick a nice table. That one will do. I'm just going to right click and copy the image. Go over to Photoshop. Let's go File, New. Now because I've copied the image, it has automatically placed the width and height for me. So all I'm going to do is give this a name, call it Clipping Mask Tutorial. And then once I've got my blank layer, I'm just going to hit Control V or Command V on the Mac to paste the image I've copied. Okay, first thing we're going to do is just zoom out, Control minus or Command minus. Then hit the transform, so Control T or Command T, and we're going to right click and go perspective. What that will do is allow us to flatten the table. Once we've flattened it a little bit, let's right click and hit scale. Let's scale it down and just move it over a bit. Scale it down, move it over. Might want to flatten it a bit more, so do a perspective again. And there we go. Now, obviously, you can put anything you want in the background, but for now, what we're going to do is just right click, layer from background. Let's call it background, hit OK. Just grab the paint bucket tool, get black, and just drop it in there for now. I mean, you can put anything you want there, but for now, black will do. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we are going to create some sheets of paper. Now, to do that, we're just going to get white and we're going to get the rectangular tool. We're just going to put a piece of paper down like that. Now once it's down, we're going to Control T, right click and hit distort. So Control T to transform it, right click, click on distort, and now we can actually angle it. And try and get it to lay down just like the table is. Hit enter to save, and that's okay for now. Let's duplicate this layer, and now let's move that up, but also resize it. Control T, and then resize it. That'll do there. Let's grab the rectangular tool again. Let's draw another one. This time Control T, distort, and we want it to be a different angle this time. It's pretty good there. Let's scale it up a little bit. Just got to fix that one. Okay, now To make it a little bit more realistic so that it looks like it's actually sitting on top of the table, we're going to right click and go to blending options for each paper and just enable drop shadow. Each one. What that's going to do is just add a drop shadow underneath, and it'll give that presence that it's actually there, sitting on top. If you think the drop shadow is a little bit too unrealistic, then just turn the opacity down on the drop shadow, so you can go blending options, go into drop shadow, and just play around with the opacity. Okay, I'm going to leave it as it is. One thing, and this is up to you, is to decide which layer is going to sit on top. So is this layer going to sit on top of that layer, or is this layer going to sit underneath that layer? So it's up to you to decide, does that layer sit on top of those, or does this layer go on top of that? I like it better that way, but it's up to you how you want it. The next thing we're going to do is go back to Google Images, and we're going to look for some drawings. That's the one that I used before, so I'm just use this one again. Just going to right click and copy it, and then Control V and paste it in. Now when you paste it in, make sure it's on top of all your other layers. Control T and resize it if you have to. Okay. Before we do the clipping mask, just turn the eye off. What we got to do is actually merge all of our rectangles. Now, if I do that normally, what happens is the effects goes away. So, a neat trick is to put some blank layers underneath each one, merge it with the blank layer, each one individually, merge. Now once you've merged them, they become bitmap images, and then you can merge them and your effects stay in place. The drop shadows are perfectly and they don't get removed. Now once you've done that, you can turn the eye back on your drawing, and what we're going to do with the drawing is just pick multiply, so that it will get rid of the white from the drawing. This all depends on the type of image you selected, but if you had a majority white background and it was just black drawing, then you can pick multiply. If you didn't, if you had multiple colors there, what you could do is maybe just use the magic wand and get rid of it. But either way, what's going to happen is when we go right click and we create a clipping mask, it's only going to show on top of the pieces of paper anyways. So Control T, once you have done a clipping mask, resize it and position it wherever it's going to suit you. That's pretty good there. Okay, so that's all I did to create that effect. I'll just show you that again. So I have the image. Normally I would hit multiply to get rid of the white, and then right click, create clipping mask. Once the mask is in place, this is being set on top of this layer. I can then transform it and place it exactly where I want. Hit enter to save. and then our drawing has come to life. I mean, there's a few more things we can do. We can add in a pencil. In this case, what we can do is remove the white with the magic wand tool. Just change the tolerance so I can get more of the white. There we go. Just scale that down and also rotate it. And add a drop shadow underneath. Maybe a rubber to finish things off. Guess people call them erasers. That'll do, I think. Just resize that as well. And place it near the pencil. Just a quick drop shadow will make it look a little bit more realistic in place. Obviously you can add more things to the desk and a better background, but that does it. We go File, Save As, put it on the desktop, clipping mask tutorial, PNG file for high quality, and let's have a look at our finished product. There it is. Hope you enjoyed that tutorial. Clipping mask can be used in a lot of different areas in Photoshop, so have a play around with it and see what you can come up with.